Most marriages don't end in loud arguments. They fade quietly, in missed conversations, in long workdays, in the slow distance that grows between two people who once promised forever. This is a story of a marriage that almost forgot its wedding vows. 10 years earlier, on a warm spring afternoon in Austin, Texas, Marcus Bennett stood at the front of a small chapel. He nervously adjusted his tie while waiting for Olivia to walk down the aisle. Marcus was 28. Olivia was 26. They were young enough to believe love could solve most problems, but old enough to understand that marriage was a serious promise. When Olivia finally appeared at the end of the aisle, Marcus felt something many people feel on their wedding day: a quiet certainty. The belief that this person would be the center of his life for the rest of his years. Their vows were simple but sincere. Marcus promised loyalty, protection, and devotion. Olivia promised patience, trust, and partnership. Together, they promised to face the future side by side. Friends and family applauded as they kissed, believing they were witnessing the beginning of a beautiful life. And they were. But what no couple truly understands on their wedding day is this: vows are not tested during joyful moments. They are tested years later, when life becomes complicated, when responsibilities replace romance, when love must grow beyond a feeling and become something stronger: commitment. The first few years of marriage felt effortless. Marcus and Olivia rented a small apartment near downtown Austin. They explored the city together, tried new restaurants, spent late nights talking about the future they hoped to build. Marcus had big ambitions in his construction career. Olivia loved teaching second grade. She believed she had the best job in the world. Life felt full of possibility. But slowly, responsibilities began to grow. Marcus was promoted at work. With the promotion came longer hours, more pressure, higher expectations. At first, Olivia was proud of him. She knew how hard he had worked to get there. Marcus believed he was doing exactly what a good husband should do, building stability for their future. He worked later, accepted bigger projects, pushed himself harder every year. Every sacrifice felt justified. After all, he was doing it for them. But sometimes the pursuit of a better future quietly steals attention from the present, and the change began so gradually that Marcus barely noticed it. Years passed. Marcus and Olivia eventually bought a modest home in a quiet Austin neighborhood. From the outside, their life looked successful. Stable careers, a comfortable house, a routine that worked. But inside that routine, something subtle had begun to change. Olivia noticed it first. Marcus still came home every night, but mentally he seemed somewhere else. Work calls during dinner, emails late at night, weekends occasionally replaced by urgent deadlines. At first, Olivia tried to ignore it. She understood Marcus was under pressure, but slowly the emotional space between them began to grow. They still shared the same house, they still shared the same bed, but the conversations that once filled their evenings had become shorter, practical, efficient, like two people managing responsibilities instead of sharing a life. And emotional distance has a strange way of appearing. It rarely arrives with anger. It arrives with silence. One rainy evening in Austin, Olivia stood in the kitchen looking out the window. Distant thunder rolled across the sky. Marcus arrived home late again. He dropped his keys on the counter and immediately began talking about work problems that needed solving. Olivia listened quietly. Then she said something that had been waiting inside her for months. "Marcus, you're not really here anymore." Marcus stopped mid-sentence. The words felt unfair. Everything he did was for their future. "I'm working this hard so we can have a better life." Olivia nodded gently. I know. Then she said something that changed the room completely. But I didn't marry your job. She looked directly at him. I married you. The room fell silent, because sometimes the hardest truths are also the simplest. That night, Marcus sat alone in the living room. The house was quiet. Olivia had gone to bed early. Marcus turned on the television, hoping to distract himself from the conversation earlier. Then, something unexpected appeared, a video from their wedding day. He watched their younger selves laughing in the sunlight outside the chapel. Then he heard his own voice from 10 years ago. I promise to stand beside you through every season of life. Marcus leaned back slowly. For the first time in years, he asked himself a difficult question. When life became complicated, had he stopped standing beside her? Not intentionally, not cruelly, just gradually. He realized something many people discover too late. Love rarely disappears all at once. It fades through small moments of neglect, moments when attention is replaced by distraction, moments when presence is replaced by obligation, moments when the person you love begins to feel alone, even when you are standing beside them. And suddenly, Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: fear. Not fear of losing money, not fear of career failure, but fear of losing the promise that once meant everything. Because a wedding vow is not spoken for perfect days. It is spoken for the days when love must choose to stay. And Marcus realized something painful. He might not have been choosing Olivia anymore. Suddenly, a difficult question entered his mind. What happens to a marriage when the vows are still spoken but no longer lived? Marcus didn't have the answer, not yet. But the next morning, something happened that forced him to face the truth. When Marcus walked toward the front door, he saw something that made his heart stop. A small suitcase, waiting.